the ECOSOC. Munir, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Courtney. And thank you for convening this meeting and this conversation with the Secretary-General. I would like to thank the Secretary-General, first of all, for leading this initiative together with the Prime Ministers of Canada and Jamaica. This has been a unique exercise for the United Nations and has brought the United Nations, as he said, into the center of this important discussion about a response to this worst crisis that the global community has faced in 75 years. I share the Secretary-General's concern, I share his frustration, and I also share the specific actions which he has advocated and which have been echoed by the Special Envoy. And it's worth recounting the vaccine, the access to the vaccine, creation of SDRs, the extension of the DSSI suspension and its expansion, access to new funds, concessional finance, the liquidity and sustainability facility, and I would add also investment both from the public and the private sector, especially in infrastructure, would be an important part of the response. The role that has been played by our colleagues, both Courtney and Bob from Canada, is commendable, and I hope that they will continue to play that leadership role and accelerate the work of the 6 clusters that have been identified. I would hope that these clusters will, on the one hand, try to identify the emergency measures which the Secretary-General and the Special Envoy have mentioned for action. These emergency measures need to be translated into action. And for that purpose, we will need a coalition of leaders, a coalition of the like-minded to reach out at the bilateral level to heads of state and heads of government, to central banks, to reach out to the G20 summit when it takes place in later this year, to reach out in the IMF, IBRD meetings, as well as other United Nations summits that are scheduled to take place. We need to have a coalition of the like-minded which will reach out to the decision makers in order to get an agreement on emergency action. I think that's the only way we will get action, is if we have a powerful coalition, both from the developed and developing countries, pleading for these emergency measures which are required. And I'm most grateful that the Secretary-General and Dr. Mohyuddin have mentioned the ECOSOC. I will, of course, be conducting consultations, and I hope that the 6 clusters will engage with the ECOSOC in order to see how to advance our process into translating our advocacy into agreements at the FFD and the high-level political forum ultimately. I am most grateful to the Secretary-General for his support, and I look forward to the support from the Secretariat to the Economic and Social Council. Finally, I believe that the clusters can also be most useful in looking at some of the structural issues which my distinguished colleague from Italy has also mentioned, the structural issues with regard to the trade issues, the illicit financing issues, the taxation issues. These are issues which we will need to address in the future. But our focus, I believe, at this moment must be on the emergency actions which the Secretary-General and the Special Envoy have identified. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Munir.